Ooh, I hope that got him. Everyone's good on this hill. So for those of you who don't know, this is Insurgency Sandstorm. And you might be wondering, why am I showing you this? And that's because I've been playing this quite a lot recently, and I feel like a lot of the issues Tarkov has, or some of the major problems people bring up, this game has a pretty good solution to them. If you haven't heard of this game before, it's kind of a hardcore shooter with a military sim kind of vibe to it. As far as the combat goes, it's pretty similar. I mean, look at me, I've been camping against this wall for about 20 minutes now, shooting any poor soul that happens to walk by. No, but seriously, all jokes aside, this game punishes you for any tactical errors you make with the low time to kill. If you peek the wrong window or walk across the street without making sure there's a guy not laying down by a lamppost waiting there with a machine gun, that's lights out, buddy. So without further ado, let's get into the meat of the video, why I summoned you all here. What the hell can Tarkov learn from Insurgency Sandstorm? Allow me to show you a clip from my last video to highlight my point. Oh crap, there's a guy in there. That sucks for him. Yep, that did suck for him. So my first gripe with the game, if you will, is the fact that having a Hubble telescope variable zoom scope on every gun is the meta right now. A lot of people have already talked about this point I'm making, notably Jesse Exam has made a really good video on it that I highly recommend you go and watch. But to sum it up, basically having the ability to zoom in on people's faces in a split of a second is really annoying when you're on the receiving end of that. This is where Insurgency Sandstorm has handled this feature very well. Let's just take a look at how Insurgency handles changing magnifications or switching scopes. Absolutely groundbreaking 200 IQ ingenuity right there. Joking aside, I think this would be an extremely healthy addition to the game. This would help stop some of those pretty common random one-taps from some dude that spotted you from halfway across the map 500 meters away, instantly zoomed in on your forehead and killed you all within a space of a single second. Of course I'm exaggerating, but you get what I mean. This feature will also make it that anybody who still runs this scope on an assault rifle will probably have to make sure that they always have this set to the one-time zoom, and if they spot somebody that requires them to zoom in for an easier shot, they'll have to take time to actually adjust the scope, giving the target a chance to actually get away or get out of sight. This feature at the same time doesn't ruin sniping, as you still have the ability to have a variable zoom scope for your snipers. It just doesn't make it as OP as it is right now. In regards to how much work it would take to make the animation, Jesse Exam raised a really good point where they kind of already have this animation in the game, where you just reuse the same one that you use for putting a flashlight in raid on or off your gun. Just reuse that for changing your magnification scopes and jobs are good. And I think 99% of the player base is on the same page about this feature. I don't think there would be any complaints about this being added in, aside from maybe some minor complaining during the adjustment period, but that would probably be just about it. Now it's time to talk about recoil. Honestly, the current state of recoil for any non-meta gun is the biggest pile of shit I have ever seen in my life. I like to think that when they were updating the recoil in this game, the person in charge of it accidentally slipped with the recoil slider and made it 100% by mistake. Even gun specialists who made videos on Tarkov have said the recoil is even too high.
I suppose a quick comment on the handling, as it were, the virtual handling of this. I can't remember if this is the case for ARs in Tarkov generally, but there seems to be a bit too much recoil going on. I'm having an off day. This is in 5.56. It's not 7.62, and there's a heck of a lot of recoil for what really ought not to be.
I'm not going to bore you to death with comparing every gun in Insurgency Sandstorm to the ones on Tarkov, but let's just take a look at the Val. Okay, so here I test it standing and crouching. And then look how much better it is to control on Insurgency. I'm not saying they should make every gun laser beamy, but at least make the guns that do less damage have less recoil, and the guns that have higher damage have a little bit more recoil. This will add a little bit more variety to the game, because of right now there's no real reason not to use an assault rifle. Like, why does an MP7, a gun that requires you mag dump every PMC to kill them, have more recoil than a 7.62 RD704? Insurgency handles it pretty well. Guns that should have high recoil do, and guns that should have less recoil have less recoil. For a game that has such incredible attention to detail and so many weapons in the game, it's a damn shame to see that there's only a handful of them that are actually usable. These are just some of the changes that I'd rather come sooner than later. There's a lot of other stuff that I'd like to say as well, but it's more controversial stuff, so I think I'll leave it out of this one. But if you want my opinion in another video, let me know down in the comments. Honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just really looking forward to DMZ, and I just hope they capitalize on what makes Tarkov good. With it being a Call of Duty title and seeing how some of that plays, I am a bit worried of how they're going to adapt to a survival shooter. But from the leaks and what I've heard so far, it does sound like they are on the right track. A little competition for Tarkov would actually be good. I will still continue playing Tarkov, as it is one of my all-time favourite games. It's just in a difficult place for replayability for me at this point, but I will be continuing to support it, make content on it, and play it until its full release, and probably further. But anyway, that's just all my opinion. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like and a comment for the algorithm, I'd really appreciate it. But that pretty much wraps it up for this video. Let me know whether you agree or disagree down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.